Apologies for cutting the last one off where we did, but we thought we'd keep you suspense because we found something. We've found something extremely bad. No, we haven't really. All we found is some 4 pistons. So, got the pistons. They actually do look alright. I mean, they are a bit oily, which again says that the stem seals have gone. You can see it's burning a bit of oil on top of there as well. So it is vital that we actually do the stem seals in it. Now, look at the head. There's literally 2 valves per cylinder, 1 exhaust, 1 inlet. How cool is that? That is so cool. So turning the engine over, we're just going to check the bores and make sure that they're alright. I mean, it turns over quite smooth, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah. But we want to make sure that it's all alright because obviously she wants this running properly. Looking at the bores, they seem to look okay. There's something actually there. What is that? Well, that's just a little bit of oil. So we're okay there. We're looking for scoring, any vertical scoring. Ideally you should see like a hatch mark inside. That's what you want to see, because that means that there's no piston leaning, no rods leaning or anything like that. Any vertical lines means there's something wrong somewhere. Either ring gaps are wrong or slightly bent rod or something like that. Looking at them cylinders, they actually do look okay, so we can progress further now. This engine is going to get put aside and we are going to start stripping the other one, aren't we? See what's what on that. We're going to then start swapping bits over that we can already. This head's going to have to go be sent off for a head skim, because if you ever do an head gasket and somebody says that they're not taking it for a head skim, why? Because it's literally pennies to do it, and you're making sure you got that nice smooth surface so you never have the issue. About 100 miles down the line, so don't cut corners, don't cut them corners. So for some reason, you're probably hearing my audio over this clip, the camera decided to not record the audio. Yes, I know, I'm an idiot. What we're looking at here is we're actually looking at the old engine that Emily got built, and as you can see the timing is out by a tooth, so that would be a reason why it wouldn't start in the first place. So with any new engine that we get, we always take out the engine and then check the timing. So that's exactly what we did here, and we found out that it is off tooth. Why did it jump out off tooth? You can see this guide here that Jack's just put on the cover. That is actually missing off of this engine, so that is what helps hold the timing belt in place. Whereas when we stripped the new engine that Emily had bought down, this had it, whereas the one that she had built didn't. So we think this is why it skipped teeth. Emily finally arrived and left us with all this shit. Not happy. Do you want to just show him how she's bought it? Come on, like literally. What's in this box? Look. Just pick something up. Fucking hell. Oh no.
Yeah, do I want a V-Bank on?
Alright. Oh, that as well, yeah.
This is 10.
Not impressed. Not impressed. To be fair to her, this is how she got it, so it's not her fault. We're going to have to go through everything and just make sure we go through it and see what's what. Make sure everything goes where it should be. This is going to take a little bit of time as well. But we'll get there eventually. So the main step for the Volvo is to get it all built back up. The head, I have actually had a phone call saying the head is finished, so that's had a fresh skim on it. So we're going to pick that up tomorrow morning. So we'll pick this up tomorrow morning when we've got the head. And also progress on the 350. Inception, doing 2 videos at once. Finally got the head back. So the stem seals have already been replaced in this as well. The head has had a bit of a paint, so it freshens it all up. But this is ready to bolt on, isn't it? The head gasket's on there. We've put some other bits on it. You can just see it right there. There's some other bits on there ready to go. So next step, put the head on. It's like magic. It's on there, but it's not bolted in. So we're gonna Put the head bolts in now. Again, when you tighten up any head, there is a torque tightening sequence and torque settings, so just make sure you're following all that sort of stuff. But this is, like we said in the previous videos, this is going to go back stock cams going back in. Again, simple. They've literally got the 2 valves, 1 exhaust valve, 1 inlet valve for each cylinder, which is nice and straightforward. If you remember in the first episode as well, we was talking about the hushers. These have all been swapped now, so these have all got fresh new ones on, so they're all sorted. We've got no issues with quiet tappets, loud tappets even. My English is great today, isn't it? It's going to be another one of them days, mate. I'm sorry for putting up with me. For anybody that does want to know the tightening sequence, thanks Jack, there it is, and it is 20 newton meters, 60 newton meters, and then 90 degrees. Buckets are going in one by one. The cam is now going in, so we're slowly getting there for it to be completed. We found a problem, big problem. So this is the crank gear. So this sits between, it's hard to say, isn't it really? There's like a, shall we say, call it a washer. There's a big washer, this big washer, crank, pulley, then crank bolt. Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a big washer on the crank pulley bolt.
Yeah, well that's, Jack, come on. We're talking cars here. I'm a mechanic. Alright. So, there should be a keyway right here. Now, looking up on Volvo groups and stuff like that, that should be solid. It should be big. It should be about up here. It's broke. So we thought, oh, let's have a look at the one on the other engine. It's also broke. Not as bad, but you can see the height difference here. It should actually be double that. So what's happening is the crank pulley can't actually sit on this.
I'll go get the bolts
properly. So you can see on the back of this crank pulley that Jack's just kindly bought in.
You get one of them, that sits at the back. Then you get one of them, that sits there. Then you got that one. I picked up the wrong one. But say that's the front one, it'll sit there, slide over that, and there'll be a timing mark there. The other place that done this thought that was normal, left that off, hence why the timing was wrong, and then put this on.
Because they thought that that was supposed to be the right size to fit in this, when it's not, so they left this off, and that's why the timing belt decided to go ping. That was actually a good shot though.
Yeah.
So that is not the way. These actually do help keep the timing belt where it should be. So this is a problem. We can't do anything else until we get a new one of these. And trying to get a new rear main crank seal for one of these was absolutely a nightmare. So this is the new one that come in the kit. This one here. This is the one that comes in the kit. This is the old one. The internal diameters are completely different, so it don't even fit over the crank. The size of this one is also bigger. One is also thicker. But then luckily, Benjamin at SAF decided to come through. He actually pulled one off the shelf. It usually is a bit of a letdown. Sorry, Benjamin, but you usually are a letdown. But no, he actually came through for us, so thank you for that. But that is why the timing has skipped itself out.
Well, they would have never set it right in the first place if they didn't put that washer on there to set it.
Well, there's many different scenarios, isn't there?
I'll get the other washer. It's actually got them all. So that sits in there.
So now it's got the right one, look.
And it locates there. That's flush in there.
See, that shouldn't be flush though, should it? That should actually be sticking out further. So if you put it on that one, look, there's got a bit more meat on it. You'll see here, actually how it sticks out a little bit. You can feel that, but that actually should be further because that should also line up with the bit on the crank pulley as well.
Yeah, well, it slots in there, so your timing mark sticks there, and then they've fucked that off just so they can line it up with that.
So they put it on the crank like that, the crank pulley like that. The belt's obviously been round it. That's what's made the belt go this way, and it's obviously touched all this, and then it's took it out of time. So that is actually, we actually know the reason why now that it's not ran, or it did run for a short period of time.
Because I didn't check.
Yes, yes. So, sorry Emily, but that's why. At least we're going to sort it. We're going to get another one of these. We're going to put it all back together, and you're going to have the Volvo running very, very shortly.